Welcome guys to your FBA guide, how to start with Amazon FBA in Europe. I did how to start with Amazon FBA in Germany over a year ago and it brought me so much traction to my channel. So I wanted to update it because some of the things are a little bit outdated by now, and also I wanted to expand on it so that it is usable and helpful to anyone in Europe. When I first got started, a lot of the content that I saw online, tutorials and just information, came from America, from Amazon US. They were great, they helped me a lot. However, there are a few things that work a little bit differently in Europe, and there are little steps that I missed because all I looked at were these tutorials, American tutorials. Therefore, I felt the need to put out my perspective as an European starting Amazon Europe and what that looked like and what was different for me. Also, I wanted to put out a reminder and also a disclaimer that I am not a tax advisor, I am not a tax professional, and therefore with anything related to tax and to legal forms and to anything official, you should definitely look for a professional tax advisor, professional legal advisor, because I am not one, and everything that I'll be saying is just my angle from my perspective and what I experienced. Therefore, do not ask me questions or do not take my word and what I'm saying as the reality. This is just my view of things. Finally, before we get started, I want to say that I have a deep dive video on almost every single thing I will mention. So I will be directing you here to the videos as we go along so that you can expand on the topic by watching one of my other videos, and hopefully that will give you a more specific view on all of the things that I'll be talking about, because today I'll just be telling you step by step what you need to do, and then you can go back to each of these videos and learn a little bit more in depth. Just jump straight into it. I will not steal any more of your time. Just remember to like this video, comment something down below, and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, without further ado, let's do it. So the first step you should do, my personal advice, is for you to buy an Amazon FBA course. Trust me, I started without buying one and it ended up costing me a lot more money in the long run. I grew a lot slower. I honestly think that I went full-time with my business 1 year later because I did not make that investment when I first started. So I recommend Marketplace Superheroes. I have a video review here. If I were you, I would stop, take a little bit more time to do the course and just invest a little bit more money anyway to get started, and buy this course before you get started. After going through the course, what comes first, what comes next is starting with product research. So that will be your first step into getting started officially with Amazon FBA, product research. I love the method they teach you in Marketplace Superheroes course, and I currently use that method combined with the Chrome extension of Helium 10. I tell you all about the method that I use in this video right here. But if you end up not going forward and investing in a course in Marketplace Superheroes, then what you will need in order to start with product research is a product research tool. When you use the product research tool for Amazon, then you will have a lot of different features inside the tool that will help you comb the Amazon catalog in search for the best opportunities. And for that, I recommend Helium 10. I really love all of the features that they have that allow you to do that. I also tried Jungle Scout, but I found that when I tried it a couple of years ago, it did not have as many features and as detailed features for European sellers as Helium 10 did. So as of now, I only recommend Helium 10 for European sellers. Helium 10 has amazing tutorials. They have the best tutorials out there to teach you how to use the tools and also to teach you how to find the best products in the easiest way. So I show you a little bit of how I use it in this video, but definitely I recommend you watch their videos because they are the best videos out there, honestly. So great, you've gone through stage 1 and you found your first product. Congratulations. The next thing you need to do is to think about how you want to differentiate these products from the competition. How can you make this product stand out? How can you market it better? Nowadays on Amazon, there are a lot of products, and even if you are in a niche that just has 3 competitors, you still need to offer more value than your competitors. And that comes from being different, thinking about what it is that the client wants that is not getting from my competitors. Go through their reviews, their 1-star reviews, their 2-star reviews, and see what is missing, what are people complaining, from my competitors, and make sure that you talk to your supplier and you make sure that your product has that. At this point, you know what your product will be, and you also have a list of requirements and criteria that you know that your product must have in order for you to move forward with it. And the next thing you need to do is to go to alibaba.com to find your supplier. What you will do is that you will go to alibaba.com, you will write your keyword on the search bar, and you will see a list of products or a list of suppliers supplying exactly what you are looking for. And what you need to do next is that you need to talk to several of them, interview several of them in order to define what is the best fit for you and what is the supplier that will be the best fit for your business going forward supplying this product. There are lists of questions that you can either Google, or if you're inside Marketplace Superheroes, they will also tell you what's their method and what they recommend you ask in order to define what is the best supplier for you. So just make sure you know what you will say to your supplier for you to find out if this is the right fit, and also for you to appear professional. I have a whole video on this topic. It is right here. So if you want a little bit more detail on this topic specifically, you can go here and watch it. Once you have that first filter of communication, you ask them your questions, you already have kind of an idea of what are like your top 3 suppliers, let's see. Then you will ask for samples. I also tell you all about this in that video that I pointed at right before this, but basically the way I like to do it is that I ask for a standard sample just to assess the quality between the different suppliers, what's their standard product like. Then I compare them among each other. I also like to order my competition's products to compare, to understand like what is the standard of the market, and then I decide on the best one. Pro tip: whenever you ask for samples, even before you get started officially with your business, always ask for the commercial invoice, because this can be and this will be a business expense, okay? At some point it should not come out of your pocket, or of course it's coming out of your pocket, but you will file it as a business expense. Pro tip. Once you decided on your top supplier, or maybe your top 2 suppliers, the next step is for you to ask for a customized sample. What a customized sample is a sample of the standard product, but modified with your logo, with this feature that you identified that your product must have in order to be better from your competition, or with your specific idea that you came into the market with. After a few weeks, they will send you back this product customized, and it is a magical moment when you get to see your product that you envision with your logo that you created. It's truly the most amazing part of the process. And if everything is okay with the sample, then from then on, you are ready to start production. The production of your test order should cost you from a few hundreds of dollars up to a few thousands of dollars, depending on how costly your product is and also what is the quantity that you are going for. Meaning that at this point you are ready to spend some serious money, probably your first serious money investing in a business ever, and you are probably also very, very sure that you want to move forward with your business, right? What that means is that at this point, if not earlier, you should look at registering your activity, registering your business with your country. In my opinion, you can register your business, and you maybe even should. If you ask a tax advisor, a professional legal advisor, you should, I guess, register your business from the moment in which you have your first expense and from the moment in which you intend to one day have a profit with this activity. So, when you start investing in samples, maybe in your Marketplace Superhero courses, or even in your product research tool. However, maybe up until right now, you were not sure. Maybe you are still measuring the idea. You're still thinking, do I really want to go with this business, forward with this business or not? So if not earlier, then at this point is when you should look to register your business and perhaps seek some professional advice in order to do so. About this topic, I will tell you my personal experience, not professional experience, navigating this process in an European country, and what are the steps that you should look or expect to have regardless of the country where you are. Obviously, the steps will differ depending on where you are, but it will look something like this. The first step would be typically, generally, to choose your legal form. So that is sole proprietorship or an enterprise. You should definitely research all of the legal forms in your country, see which one makes more sense for you, also with your personal circumstances, if you have a 9-to-5, if you have other business What makes more sense to you? Do a deep research on that and choose the one that is the best. If you can, always privilege limited liability, or at least plan switching to limited liability as soon as you can down the line. After you know what your legal form is, then the next step is to usually approach the city hall and register your business. That step usually involves filling out some forms with your personal information and giving out your personal documents. The amount that is due and that you have to pay really depends on what is your legal form typically. After you get the confirmation from the city hall that your business exists, the next step, or at the same time, depends, is to register with the finance department. So you register your business to pay taxes at some point, and also for VAT, to pay VAT. All that this is that you are telling the finance department that you will start an activity, and they will give you a tax number, all of the official things that you need in order to, that Amazon, for example, will require you to give out to them to prove that you are a business registered to pay your taxes, because they cannot have you if you do not prove to them that you're paying your taxes. This section typically involves filling out some forms and giving out some projections of your income. So how much you expect to make in your first year, in your second year, and the projection that you give them usually will determine how much taxes you need to pay up front or pay through as you go through the months. Again, please seek an expert to advise you on this topic. Afterwards, one of the last steps of this bureaucracy part is to apply for an EORI number, which is an import number. It is a number you need in order to import goods into the European Union, and it is free in the European Union, very, very easy to get. Just apply for it and you will get it very, very fast. Finally, the last step that you may want to consider, or you may also not want to consider it right away, I didn't do it right away, was to register for a trademark. So you will most likely, I hope, be putting a logo or something else that's very specific, your brand name, on some products, right? And you may want to protect that from the start. If you decide not to protect it right away, like I didn't, because I just didn't privilege, I was just testing out the waters when I first started. I wasn't sure if that was going to be what I was going forward long term, so I didn't want to register a trademark. But if you choose not to do it right away, you must anyway check to make sure that your trademark, your logo, your brand name is not already taken. So I will leave a link down below for you to check the European registry and to make sure that you can just put in whatever you are hoping to register one day and just make sure that it is free. Even if you are in a country in which Amazon is not present, you should perhaps look to register your country in your main Amazon market because of tax considerations. Please ask a tax advisor about that. So that is it for the bureaucratic part, what you may expect to find in general when you are registering a business in the European Union. Of course, it may change depending on your country and your conditions and everything, but this is in general the steps from my personal experience. However, I want to leave you with some food for thought, because some based on some limiting beliefs that I had when I started my business, that I hope can help you look at this whole process in a little bit of a less scary way. So the first thing I want you to know is that registering a business is not a big deal. It is a serious thing, of course. You should be aware that it is a serious thing, but you do not need to be afraid. So I think like a lot of people are afraid of taxes, for example. And you definitely should inform yourself of taxes, because if you're a business, taxes will not be deducted from your paycheck. You save money for them. However, you only pay taxes if and when you make a profit in general. Therefore, it's not something that you need to be scared of when you first get started. Also keep in mind that this registration process may take a few months because you need to contact with different members of the state. So I would advise you to start a few months before you are ready to put your first order with your supplier. At the same time, it's a tough balance because production and shipment can take 1, 2, 3 months depending on how you ship your goods to your country. So you may also have enough time. So just keep that in mind, and one step at a time, you'll be fine. So before you proceed to your first order, actually, there is one more thing that you need to discuss with your supplier, which is your packaging. A lot of things that go into packaging. I have a video on it here that addresses it a little bit here, and a lot more is inside Marketplace's Superheroes course that I did not feel comfortable doing a video on it because I'm not as comfortable with that topic as they are, so I addressed it a little bit here. However, what I have to say is that look at the legislation in European Union for packaging, and also talk to your supplier because they should be able to source it for you, but you can also source it externally in case the packaging your supplier would offer you is not up to your standards. So I've done both. It's easier when the supplier adjusts the packaging for you, but it can also be that you get your packaging shipped to your supplier and get them to assemble the two things together. And what comes next is that you are ready to produce your first order. At this point, you must be very sure of your product, you must be sure of your packaging, and you are ready to pull the plug. Typically, a first order is something between 200 and 1,000 units, depending on how much is your budget, what the market looks like, and what you're comfortable with. And what you should do is that you should ask your supplier on Alibaba.com to draft a trade assurance order for you. This is essentially a contract inside Alibaba. Everything is done inside Alibaba. It is insured through Alibaba, and that is safer for at least your first orders because you basically are covered in case things don't go your way, in case something happens. Everything is registered and Alibaba can come in and intercede for you. So definitely ask for a trade assurance order, and then you can review what they wrote there and you can accept it. You can ask for payment terms 30/70, which means essentially that when you place the order, you pay 30% of the total amount, and when the order is ready to leave the factory, you pay the remaining 70%. That may make sense if you're already paying a couple of thousands of dollars, or even less if you're more comfortable with that, and if it makes sense for your cash flow. You can definitely ask for 30/70. Usually there's no problem with that. And what goes hand in hand with placing your order is to handle how your goods will be shipped from China typically, or from Asia somewhere, to European Union. Usually privilege either Ex-Works or CIP, Incoterms, or even FOB. So I don't want to overwhelm you. I have another video that I mentioned this topic briefly here. Moving forward, you agreed on your order, the goods are being produced, you also negotiated how the goods will be shipped to Europe. Not a big deal. It sounds like a lot of information, but actually once you know what you need to say, they know exactly what to do, so you just need to take care to tell them what to do. And while the goods are being produced, you actually have work to be done here where you stand, and that is to start out by creating your Amazon sellers account. You need to know that at least in Amazon EU, they will require you to provide all of your business registration and tax documents in order to get your Amazon account approved if you register as a professional seller. So make sure you have all of the registration documents ready to provide in order to get the process to move fast and your account not to be suspended for too long. In general, it makes sense for you to register as a professional seller if you expect to sell at least more than 40 units a month, because being a professional seller costs you 40 euros per month, while being an individual seller, not a professional one with a professional account, costs you €1 per unit. So you can decide that way. After you approve your account, then you are ready to create your listing for the product that is coming. And in general, when it comes to listings, there are two elements. The first element is your images, very, very important, and the second element is your text. I have two full videos on listings here and here, so I will not go too much into detail here because there's not much more that I can say than what was already said here. What I can say is that when I first got started, I did take some of my own pictures for my smaller products, and I think I did a great job. I always got them edited by a professional editor afterwards, so that they looked super professional and they looked amazing afterwards. However, afterwards I have proceeded to working with professional photographers and also experts in Amazon photography. That just makes a lot more sense, and it is a cost that you spend once and that keeps on giving. So I definitely think that makes sense. on the long run. The text of your listing, a lot of it comes down to proper keyword research, and for keyword research I again recommend Helium 10. So the same tool that I recommended in the beginning, it really helps you throughout the whole process. It is really super easy to use. All you need to do is to input the main competitors in Helium 10, and they give you all of their keywords, all of the organic keywords they rank for, all of the keywords that they pay for in their ads, and all you need to do is to make sure that you include those throughout your listing. Again, listing success is a lot about search engine optimization, and I could not go more in depth that topic than I did in this video, so make sure to stop by. Finally, because you are selling in the European Union, remember that you can automatically have your listing in all of the European markets. So make sure to, once you have your text in your original language, make sure to have it translated. I use Upwork.com for that. I hire translators from all of the different languages that I want to be on. I think currently there are 9 marketplaces in European Union, so I definitely do that. And then just go to the back end of the listing and enable it in all of the markets. And just like that, you'll be ready to sell in 9 countries. It's amazing to start in the Amazon EU. So while you did all of that, your goods were produced and they were shipped to Europe. And at this point, they should be ready to be delivered. I do not advise you shipping directly to Amazon Fulfillment Center. I've never tried, but I've heard that even if you go through Amazon's rules, you should not ship directly to them. So from where I stand, from my opinion, you have 2 options. You either ship to a warehouse or you ship to your own home. If you are shipping to your own place, just be home. I started that way. I think it is a great way to test out the market, to understand things, to keep the costs low when you're starting out. It was a mess, of course, but it's not bad for a small shipment. If you are going more professional straight away, then ship to a warehouse. What you can do is talk to your freight forwarder, so the entity that you hired to do customs for you, and ask them about their warehousing solution. And that is the easiest way. They do customs for you and they just keep the goods in their warehouse until you tell them that you want to ship 3 boxes, 3 pallets, whatever it is, to the fulfillment center. That is a very easy and convenient way. And then you pay them monthly per cubic meter that you have on their warehouse. I do not have a video deep dive on this topic just yet, so if you want me to create that video, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment that you want me to do that video down below, and I'll make sure to do it. And we are almost at the end of the process. What comes next is that the goods will be either at your place or will be in the warehouse of your freight forwarder. What you need to do next is to send your goods to the Amazon FBA fulfillment center. The way you do that is actually very, very easy. You just need to go to the back end of your listing and you need to create a shipment there. They will ask you to input the number of cartons or pallets that you are sending, dimensions, the weight, and what is the contents of each box. They will give you shipping labels to print. You put them on the boxes, or you ask your warehouse to put them on the boxes. Then you schedule a pickup and someone will come to pick up the boxes so that they go to the fulfillment center. I do have a video on this topic, so you can watch a deep dive and the specific how-to here. At this point, you have a very important decision, and this is again a financial consideration, something that you should talk with your tax advisor, which is in which countries you want to actually keep stock at, because that will impact the VAT obligations that you have. Please contact a financial advisor for them to tell you all about that and what options do you have and what makes sense to you at which stage of your business. And the last thing you must do once your goods are on the way to the fulfillment center, or once they are already available to be purchased by customers, is to launch. You will want to launch, right? You will want to start selling right away. However, your listing will be on page 17 of the search results, because Amazon has no information on your product, your conversion rate. Nobody has ever gone to your page, so they cannot really rank it. They do not have information to rank you on the first page where people will actually see you. So what you should do is that you should start with pay-per-click ads, Amazon ads, in order for you to rank on the page 1 of your target keywords. So when people come to the search bar, they write whatever they write, and then you will show up on the first few positions. And this way is how you can get people on your listing, convince them to buy your product, convince them to leave you a review, and you get reputation as you go. PPC used to be my day job before I became a full-time entrepreneur, so I will definitely at some point do a full deep dive on this topic. Subscribe to stay in the loop for when I do that. And when it comes to ads, you can start with one marketplace or you can start with all of them. I would recommend starting with all of them if you have the budget for it, of course, and if you have some knowledge of PPC so that you do not burn all of your money on ads. But in general, it is easier to get more views if you start on more marketplaces and you get more sales that way. And from then you are pretty much live. Just make sure you have stock. Always reply to queries of your customers. Make sure you are invoicing each sale. For invoices, you can use Amazon's automatic invoicing tool. It is free for the first year at the time of recording of this video, or you can use your own external tool. I use an external tool and I have several options for you. So I recommend either Bilby. It is a very basic tool that also enables you to manage your inventory a little bit, and it is a little bit cheaper. It is basic, but it is cheaper, it's easy to set up. Or if you want something more over the top, then I recommend Central. It is a very, very advanced invoicing, but also ERP system. I will leave links to both of them down below so you can investigate and make your decision. What both of these tools do that matters for you at this point is that they go each day through your Amazon orders and they create invoices and they upload them automatically. And this is something that Amazon requires you to do, and you have to do it within a certain time frame. So it's very important that you have a system that does this for you automatically. Otherwise, you need to spend all of your time going through your orders and creating invoices manually. I did that the first year and it was not fun. And after that, you just need to pay your taxes. So make sure you get an accountant and you talk to them at least a few times a year during your first year for that. If you're looking for VAT recommendations and VAT help, I recommend Maroza VAT. They are an international European tax company, so they can handle all of the countries for you, all of the taxes related to all of your countries for you. They can advise you on all of the countries, which is really, really good. When I was working with my German tax advisor, it was a little bit of a problem because she only knew about Germany, and when I wanted to expand, she was not really capable of helping me as much as Maroza VAT could in all of the countries. Therefore, you also get someone who will probably talk to you in your mother tongue or English, and they can actually communicate about taxes with you in any of these languages. So that is really, really good. If you do reach out to them, then make sure to tell them that you come from my site, because you can get 5% off all of the services contracted. So make sure you tell them you come from me. You can save that way and get help in all of the markets as you grow. Getting help from the start and having someone that you can contact at least for 1 hour here and there is very important as you reach new stages of your business, as you are looking to do more investment, and as you are looking to get staff, for example. So definitely make sure to get help. Always remember to diversify your income. If you have more products that are smaller, then you are less liable if something happens to one of them. That's it, guys. These are all of the steps summarized. Everything that you need to know in order to get started with Amazon FBA in one of the European countries. Also, I have some free Amazon FBA resources that I prepared for you, so if you want to grab those, then the link is down below. Please make sure to leave your questions down below, like this video and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see us next time for another one. Bye!